Hi, this is John from SOS, and this is a quick start guide video to your Canvasser SOS, both for setup and just a little overview of where to go and what to do. So when you first download the 30-day trial and you open up Salesforce, you'll probably end up on the home page here. And there's just one quick setup that you need to do. And if you go over to the Setup menu in the upper right, click that. And then in the left-hand box, search box that appears, go ahead and type in Remote Site. And you'll see the Remote Site settings pop up. Click on that. And we have to just make one small change or two small changes. If you'll see here, there's a number 6417 or something like that will appear. That's different than the site that you've been assigned. In this example, it's 867. So all we have to do is replace that number with the number up here by clicking Edit. And I will just take my cursor and move over and type in 867, click Save, and I'll do the same for the one below it as well. Click Edit, and click 867, and click Save, and now you're all set up. So let's go to the interesting things. I always like to start with the dashboards. I have a sample dashboard here. We're going to be talking about a fictitious campaign called Altered States Hospital. And whenever I want to go into my database and see how things are going, I usually like to go to my dashboards. And here you'll see a couple report dashboards that I set up. In this one, it's showing our total by assessment for the 1, 2, 3, 4s, and 5s. I can scroll over any of those. So this shows me that we have 11 2s, we have 5 4s, 2 1s, 5, and then 1 5, and then a lot of people who are still undecided, 15 3s. I've also created a collapsed version of that that takes the 1s and 2s and puts them together as supporters, the opposed 4s and 5s, and then the 3s as undecided. And over here I have a gauge report that shows us how close we are to our goal. So we have 34 workers, and at this point we have 10 cards. We're at 29%, and our goal, of course, is to get to 65%. And down below, we have another report that's just the totals by department. I can click on any of these charts and get to the details. So if I click on this, it takes me right to the report section and the report that I've labeled Altered States Assessment Summary. And I can drill even further down by clicking on any of the names of the people, of the contacts or workers, and even get more information from here. And this is a sample of a contact. Her name is Jan. And you can see here that we have a little bit of information about her. We have some job information. Her account is Altered States Hospital. Could also be called your employer, depending on how you set things up. That's easy to change. Department, ER, their most recent assessment, their sign card date, a map of their location of their house. That is all in the contacts area, and we can get to contacts by clicking on here. I've created a sample list view called Alter States Practice All, and you can click on Go on that. And this is going to give you another view of all the people in that particular project or campaign. And you'll see that we have their names, the name of the employer, whether they signed a card, their title, their phone, their assessments. I love list views because you can easily use them like a spreadsheet. If I want the assessments to be further to the left, I can just click and drag that field. I can sort by clicking on any of the field labels. And I can get even more fancy by clicking on Edit and changing which columns appear. So let's say I don't care about title, but I want to add the assessment date. I can scroll on that and click Save. And Sure enough, assessment date appears and title disappeared. Again, click edit. I'm going to remove assessment date and add title. Click here and then click save. These are fully customizable. You can filter for whatever fields that you want that are in the database. So for example, I also created another one, said altered state practice 3s. That just pulls up all those who are assessed as 3s. And you can see that was as simple as just adding a line of code that says assessment equals 3. And that's a quick view of the list views. Again, once I'm in a list view, I can click on anybody's name and get the details of that person. These are all linked to their accounts or their employers. I can click on Altered State Hospital here, get some information, and then down here it's going to show me all the contacts that are within Altered States. So that's a quick summary of the contacts and the information. Another way to find contacts is just by the search feature up at top. So I can always type in a person's name, Blaise, it knows it's Jamie Blaise, and up pops the record. What I also like about Canvasser and Salesforce is that it remembers your most recent places. So you'll see recent items over here that you can easily get to, since you often want to get to the people you've seen in the past. So that's a very quick overview of contacts. Let's take a look at reports, which we looked at a little bit through our dashboards. If you want to look around, I've created in the Unified Public Reports a couple sample reports: altered states all, altered states assessment by department, collapsed, and altered state card signers. So you can click on the altered states all, and that's going to give us our universe of people within altered states. You can click customize and you'll see how I created that report simply by saying account name starts with altered. Click save. These reports you create by simply taking the fields that are on the left and dragging them over to the right. Again, you can move these fields just by clicking and dragging. And there's another types of reports like summary reports and matrix reports that once you play around you'll get comfortable with. I'm going to run that report. Let's go back to reports. So you've got your report folder of Unified Public Reports, and you also want to look at the company dashboards, and that's another way of getting to the altered states sample dashboard that I created here. Let's take a look a little bit briefly at mobile. I can click on my simulator here and get to a simulation of what you'll see in your Salesforce One Canvasser app. You start off by clicking on the three dots over on the upper hand left side, and you'll notice that the dashboards are also available directly. They look much better on your iPhone rather than the simulator, and you can click on those and get the details and the underlying data from any of those dashboard charts that you created earlier. And we can also get to Canvasser SOS. This is to help you do house visits. And you'll see here, this is a group of people that were marked and packetized in Canvasser, and there's a separate video to teach you how to create the packets with Packetizer. So for now, I'm just going to show you from the end user what things look like. The concept here is that you have a group of people that you want to visit, and you have a bunch of staff people who are supposed to go visit them. So you want to create packets to make it the most efficient routes for those organizers or staff who are visiting people. So the database, the Canvasser, will automatically create these packets for you. And you can go over to the settings button here, choose the project group that you've been assigned to and the project, and you'll see these different packets. So I'm going to just select packet 3 and I'll click save. You could then filter, if you had the data, by language, or you could exclude the card signers or search by a particular employer. We'll keep all that blank for now. I'll click apply filter, and then up pops your packet. And you'll see that within each packet, you've got these different icons. A check mark means that they've signed a card, and these mean they haven't been visited yet. I can click on any of those dots and get the person's name, address, employer. I can click here, and that's going to give me my survey or the contact sheet. And it's here where I can mark whether they signed a card, what their assessment was, and the assessment date. These surveys are very customizable and instantaneous, so you can change the fields that appear based on the project group. This was a very successful visit. You can click submit, and that survey has been visited, and you'll see that when we get back to the refresh, that the icon has now changed to a checkbox. We can get to that record directly by clicking over here, and you'll see everything that we've put in for our visit is now appearing on that person's contact form. And what else is great about Salesforce is we can go to contacts. Since everything is real time, we can click back here, and you'll see that all the data we submitted through our mobile device is now available on the web. It's all in one place. So that's a quick overview for now. You can go play around. I will have other videos about how to actually create those packets, but this should be a good starting place for you to take a look and research Canvasser. And of course, feel free to email support@strategicorganizingsystems.com if you have any questions while you're doing the setup. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.